Let's get more on this now with Michael Cox, who's a Professor Emeritus of International Relations at the London School of Economics and Political Science. He joins us now from London. Really good to have you with us, Professor. There's clearly growing concern within Washington at this closer partnership between Russia and China. Is there cause for concern there?
The simple answer to your simple question is yes. I think the Americans have for long known, and many of us have been arguing from some time, that China's role in this war is a lot more important than some people have made out. China likes to claim that it's neutral, but there's been military cooperation, although not direct military aid. There's been economic support, there's been diplomatic support, and China's supporting Russia in the international forum like the UN has been very, very critical for Russia. And I think what Janet Yellen has said and Antony Blinken, the Secretary of State, have said is, look, you cannot continue to have a relationship with us if you want one, while at the same time supporting Russia in what it sees as its aggressive war against Ukraine. That's the bottom line.
Yes, we know Washington in recent years has been growing increasingly alarmed at China's growing might and influence. Clearly, Washington is trying to rein in some of China's global reach. But is it even possible to do that at this point?
Well, I mean, America still has the dollar, it still has a lot of sanctions, and it still has a lot of allies. So one should not underestimate its power or its influence. The thing is, though, when you join Chinese economic might and Russia, with a number of other countries too, we should mention North Korea and Iran, then you've got what I think Jens Stoltenberg recently called an authoritarian alliance, a very explicit reference to the alliance. So it's very, very difficult at the moment for the US. And as was pointed out in your previous clip, the US political situation back in Congress is not one that at the moment, given the Republican role, is favoring giving more military aid to Ukraine. And that, of course, again, is encouraging Putin and no doubt is giving some degree of optimism on the Chinese side as well.
Yes, you referred there to Jens Stoltenberg's recent comment referring to a possible alliance of authoritarian powers consisting of Russia, Iran, and China. Is there any way to avoid such an alliance gaining traction or influence globally? Should we perhaps then consider bringing China more into the fold?
Well, China still has a lot of economic relations with the West, even with the United States and certainly with the European Union and with what we call the Global South. The problem is that what the issue is, at least for the West and for the United States, is that China under the current leadership, which has been there for now over 10 years, has a purpose. And I think its purpose is quite explicit. It has said so many, many times. It is to displace the United States at the top table and to create a China-centered world order. And in that process, the war in Ukraine, although it may have been an embarrassment and created some difficulties for it, is something which China thus far has supported, if not directly with military aid, but in all sorts of other ways. The one bottom line for China is this: it cannot see Putin lose. And at the moment, again, as your previous clip showed, Putin seems to be at the moment on a winning streak, and I'm sure that's bringing a lot of smiles to the Chinese leadership, I would guess.
Okay, Professor Michael Cox, we'll have to leave it there. Thanks so much for sharing your thoughts with us on TRT World.
It's a great pleasure to be with you.